Welcome back to another video of Artificial Weekly. Verify that you are not a robot by clicking the subscribe button. Is it feasible for humans and robots to develop love relationships? When someone falls in love with a robot, what sort of otherness or alterity will they perceive? Can a robotic companion mean something other than a housekeeper, a carer, a sex doll, or a tool for self-gratification? According to the phenomenological study of romantic sentiments, perceiving the partner's alterity as an affective subjectivity that freely, voluntarily, and passionately commits to its partner is a necessary component of experiencing romantic feelings. One of the characteristics that robots lack is sentience, which is where romantic commitment is thought to come from. As a result, the manufactured alterity may disconnect our romantic desires and, in the view of many, render them ethically inferior to relationships between members of the same species. Nonetheless, the focus of the current examination will be on whether or not robots can, in theory, evoke feelings of love in humans. Humans have always fantasized about building artificial men and women who represent idealized versions of people who would make wonderful partners and lure us to fall in love with them. Such dreams are sometimes accompanied by the exciting question of what would occur if a manufactured anthropomorphic creature actually came to life. We are aware of Daedalus, who gave his sculptures the ability to speak, Haestus's invention of robotic puppets, and other literary fantasies about how people would respond to such creatures. The Pygmalion tale and all of its variations in contemporary literature explore the complexities and ambiguities of love friendship with artificial beings. Recent technological developments have sparked transhumanists' fantasies about the prospect of a robot as a romantic companion in the not-too-distant future. It seems obvious that the current human state regarding romantic life and our need for love would significantly change if the romantic partnership were no longer restricted to the biological representatives of our own species. This might also imply that the concept of love will change, or that people will start to feel different kinds of love-like emotions in their closest non-human relationships. Robotics and AI developments are beginning to pick up real steam. Scientists anticipate that over the next few decades, robots will increasingly replace humans in a variety of tasks, including white-collar ones at home, at school, and at work. As a result, social scientists, psychologists, roboticists, and AI specialists are speculating about the effects it will have on us and our environment. A kill switch has been created by Google and Oxford in the event that AI triggers the robot apocalypse. One option to solve this is to give AI feelings and empathy, making them as human-like as possible to the point where it might be difficult to distinguish between robots and actual people. As we move closer to creating robots in our likeness, experts have pondered whether it may be conceivable for a person to fall in love with a robot. Both the film Ex Machina and Spike Jonze's Her touch on this. Recent research has shown that when people believe a robot is in pain, they get worried about it. This suggests that we are capable of having empathy for both organic and mechanical beings. Of course, emotional worry differs from romantic love in many ways. In 1966, the idea of complex emotional interactions between people and machines was first tried. Joseph Weizenbaum, an MIT professor at the time, developed a computer software called ELIZA that acted as a psychologist. To gauge how participants would react and engage with the program, it posed them questions resembling those used in therapy. ELIZA soon started to be treated like a real breathing person. Although not as sophisticated as current AI, it did elicit thoughtful comments. In fact, Weizenbaum quickly discovered that participants were more at ease discussing private information with the software than they were with most individuals. Maybe they did it because they knew ELIZA wouldn't pass judgment. Before we dive into the next product, let me remind you to like and subscribe to our channel if you liked this video. There are signs that it's possible to fall for a robot. For instance, studies suggest that communicating over the phone, by text, messenger, email, or other electronic means typically results in a closer bond than verbal communication. The stress is reduced, and using a robot might have a similar effect. A robot lover might be the answer for anyone who has ever wanted a simpler relationship, which is pretty much all of us. Yet AI is not developed enough to display complex emotional reactions. Have you ever been on a date with a shallow person on both the emotional and intellectual fronts? It is very off-putting. Gary Marcus, a psychology professor at NYU, claims there are various types of love. For the time being, at least until their emotional and cognitive ability is up to par, we might find ourselves in a relationship with a robot that is similar to that of a dog and master. The question of whether the robot could love you in return presents another difficulty. Our mechanical counterparts of today can detect and react to human facial expressions. The robot is only acting according to programming rather than experiencing the emotion directly or reacting with empathy. In human partnerships, we could observe that one individual loves or contributes more than the other. This, in and of itself, is challenging. We frequently think of one person using the other when there is a clear contrast. A betrayed lover can say, "You don't really love me." A synthetic human might be a good faker, but they might not be able to love you back, since we don't presently have the means to teach machines emotions and empathy, and we don't know whether we ever will. Companies could create a suitable lover depending on the needs of those who can have their fantasy fulfilled. This would encompass both appearance and character features. As flaws would make the lover relatable, the synthetic suitor would need to be programmed with some flaws as well. A flawless individual can eventually get on your nerves by emphasizing your own flaws. What about stigmatization, though? Would a relationship between a robot and a human be seen as equally valuable? Or would it be assumed that individuals who kept a robot lover were unable to attract or find a genuine person? Another consideration is the impact on the organic variety of human-robot relationships. Why would you fall in love with someone who never loads the dishwasher, never remembers your birthday, or despises your friends when a robot never will? Of course, one may counter that these encounters could never have the breadth, depth, or imperfections of a true human relationship. The majority of people today find the concept of robot-human love repulsive, yet it might not simply be disrespectful. Robotics ethicist Dr. Kathleen Richardson of the UK told the BBC that sex bots might gravely harm interpersonal relationships in addition to glorifying exploitation, whether it be of a live being or not. But the basic concepts of love, courting, marriage, and friendship have evolved significantly over time. Perhaps this is the reason British AI expert David Levy wrote the book Love and Sex with Robots lately. He believes that by the year 2050, human-robot unions will be mainstream. Levy also thinks that in the future, you will be able to design your ideal partner or spouse, and they will even be able to have sophisticated conversations, something that our human partners today may be unable to do because they are preoccupied with their love of another technology that is already endangering their relationships, smartphones. That's all about today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. To get notified of our upcoming video, click the bell icon. See our other videos too.